Have you ever pictured a life less ordinary? A life that's far from the predictable rhythm of Western cities, set against a backdrop of endless blue skies, rolling steppes, and a history so epic it literally shaped the world. This is Mongolia, the land of Genghis Khan. It's a place that whispers of adventure, freedom, and a connection to something ancient and profound. But what's it really like to live there? To trade your familiar world for the most sparsely populated country on Earth? So, you're thinking about a life-changing move to the land of blue skies and Genghis Khan, but you're worried about the reality of it all. You've heard whispers about the shockingly low cost of living, but what about the brutal winters? What about the cultural etiquette you absolutely need to know to avoid causing serious offense? You're drawn in by the adventure but held back by the practical stuff, like finding a job, navigating healthcare, and dealing with some of the most intense air pollution on the planet. In this video, we're breaking it all down, the good, the bad, and the beautiful, so you can decide if this incredible, challenging country is the right move for you. First things first, why Mongolia? In a world full of popular expat spots from Lisbon to Bali, what makes this remote, landlocked nation sandwiched between Russia and China a compelling choice? The answer, in a word, is unique. Moving to Mongolia isn't just changing your address, it's a fundamental shift in how you see the world. This is for the person who isn't looking for a slightly different version of home, but for an experience that will genuinely reshape them. Let's be clear, this is not a destination for the faint of heart, and that's a huge part of its appeal. It's for the adventurer, the self-reliant, the culturally curious, the person who finds beauty in rugged, untamed landscapes. Life here offers a rare duality. One minute you can be in Ulaanbaatar, a capital city with trendy cafes, an emerging arts scene, and international restaurants. An hour's drive later, you're in a place that feels completely untouched by the 21st century, where nomadic families herd their livestock under a sky so vast it seems to swallow the horizon. This contrast is the very soul of the Mongolian experience. It's the chance to connect with a culture deeply rooted in its nomadic heritage, a heritage that prizes hospitality, resilience, and a profound respect for nature. You'll witness traditions passed down for centuries, like the Naadam Festival, a spectacle of wrestling, horse racing, and archery that feels like you've stepped right into a history book. But this is more than a living museum. Modern Mongolia is a nation in transition. Its economy, driven by a massive mining sector, is creating opportunities and challenges in equal measure. This makes for a dynamic, sometimes chaotic, but always interesting environment. You're not just a passive observer here. You're watching a country define its future while holding on to its legendary past. Living in Mongolia means accepting a trade-off. You swap the convenience of a highly developed nation for the thrill of the frontier. You trade predictability for spontaneity. You trade mild climates for seasons that are extreme and unforgiving, but stunningly beautiful. The people who thrive here don't just tolerate these differences, they're energized by them. They see a challenge not as a barrier, but as part of the adventure. If you're looking for a place that will test you, inspire you, and leave a permanent mark on your soul, Mongolia might just be the most incredible move you ever make. Now, for one of the most practical and appealing reasons people are drawn to Mongolia, the cost of living. To put it bluntly, your money just goes a lot further here. For many expats, especially those earning foreign currency or working for an international company, the financial freedom you can find is a total game changer. Let's break it down. First up, housing. This is the biggest expense for anyone, anywhere, and in the capital, Ulaanbaatar, the prices can seem unbelievable compared to Western cities. For a one-bedroom apartment right in the city center, you can expect to pay somewhere between $500 and $600 a month. Move a little bit out from the center, and that price drops even more. For a single person, you can expect your total monthly expenses to land somewhere around $100-200, including rent. A family of four will see their monthly costs, not including rent, come in at around $2,283. And these aren't run-down Soviet-era apartments either. Many are in modern buildings and come fully furnished, which is a huge plus when you're relocating. Next, utilities. You might think heating an apartment through a Mongolian winter would be terrifyingly expensive, but it's surprisingly manageable. Basic utilities, electricity, heating, water, and garbage, often cost less than $100 a month. High-speed, reliable internet is widely available in the city and is a steal, costing as little as $15 to $20 a month. Daily expenses are where the savings really pile up. A monthly public transit pass is a bargain, often under $10. A meal at an inexpensive local spot can be under $5, and a 3-course dinner for 2 at a nice mid-range restaurant might only set you back $30. Your daily cappuccino? Around $2.50. A pint of local beer? Less than $2. Groceries are also much cheaper, with one big catch. Local produce, meats, and dairy are very affordable. Mongolia's diet is heavy on meat and root vegetables, and if you adapt to eating like a local, your grocery bills will be tiny. But if you're craving imported Western goods, that specific brand of cereal, Italian pasta, or French cheese, get ready to pay a premium. They're available in bigger supermarkets, but they're considered luxury items and priced accordingly. The bottom line is that all these savings add up. It allows for a lifestyle that might be out of reach back home. It means you can afford to hire help, like a housekeeper, save a good chunk of your income, travel more, and eat out regularly without flinching. This financial breathing room is one of the biggest and most consistently positive parts of expat life in Mongolia. One of the biggest decisions you'll make is where to live, and it's a choice that will completely change your daily life. This isn't like picking between two similar cities. It's a choice between two different worlds. You have the bustling, modernizing capital, Ulaanbaatar, or the vast traditional countryside. Let's start with Ulaanbaatar, or UB as everyone calls it. This is where most expats live and work, and for good reason. It's the country's political, economic, and cultural heart. Here, you'll find supermarkets stocked with international goods, restaurants serving everything from Korean barbecue to Italian pizza, modern cinemas, and a vibrant nightlife. The expat community is tight-knit, making it easy to build a social circle. You'll also find international schools, private hospitals with English-speaking staff, and most of the jobs. But living in UB comes with its own unique challenges. The traffic can be a nightmare. And then there's the biggest drawback, the air pollution. In winter, Ulaanbaatar has some of the worst air quality in the world. A thick, hazardous smog caused by coal burning in the surrounding districts. This isn't a small problem. It's a serious health concern that means having air purifiers in your home and wearing high-quality masks outside. For many, this is the single biggest con of living in the capital. Now, let's head out of the city. Life in the Mongolian countryside, or the Amegs, is a completely different world. This is the Mongolia you see in pictures. The endless steppe, the Gobi Desert, the nomadic herders living in gers, and a profound sense of peace. Choosing to live here means committing to a much deeper, more rugged lifestyle. The rewards are immense if you're seeking nature and authenticity. The air is crystal clear, the landscapes are breathtaking, and your connection to traditional Mongolian culture will be immediate. But the challenges are just as big. Jobs for foreigners are incredibly scarce outside of specialized mining roles. Infrastructure can be basic to non-existent. You'll need to be largely self-sufficient. The language barrier becomes a real wall, and any serious medical issue will mean a long trip back to Ulaanbaatar. So who chooses which path? UB is the practical choice for most expats. It offers a soft landing with its community and amenities. The countryside is for the true adventurer, the artist, or the long-term expat ready for a deeper plunge. Your choice here will define your entire Mongolian adventure. Navigating a new culture is always a challenge, and in Mongolia, it's essential for building real connections. Mongolians are known for being incredibly warm and hospitable, but their etiquette has some specific rules that can trip you up if you're not prepared. First and foremost is hospitality. This is a value forged in the harsh steppes where survival depended on helping one another. If you're invited into a Mongolian home, whether it's an apartment in UB or a ger in the countryside, you're an honored guest. You'll almost certainly be offered food and drink, maybe milk tea, dried curds, or a shot of vodka. The golden rule, always accept what is offered. You don't have to finish it, but taking a small sip or nibble shows respect. To refuse is a serious mistake. When you receive anything, always use your right hand or both hands, never just your left. Respect for elders is another pillar of the culture. Always greet older people first, give up your seat for them, and let them lead. You'll hear younger people call you Ak, older brother, or Egch, older sister, as a sign of respect. There are also specific customs for the home, especially the traditional jeer. When you enter, men go to the left, women to the right. Never lean on the central support columns, as they're sacred. Don't whistle inside, as it's thought to attract bad spirits. And a huge one: always take your shoes off when you enter any home. Also, be mindful of your feet. Never point them at another person, an altar, or the fire. If you accidentally touch someone with your foot, you should immediately shake their hand to apologize. Conversations have a different rhythm too. Mongolians can be more reserved and might not smile at strangers on the street. This isn't unfriendliness. It's polite to start with small talk about the weather or the journey before getting personal. Avoid talking about bad things like accidents, as it's considered a bad omen. Learning these customs might seem like a lot, but Mongolians are generally very forgiving of foreigners' mistakes. Even a clumsy attempt to follow their etiquette shows you respect their way of life. And in a culture built on mutual respect, there's no greater compliment. Let's talk about one of the most immersive and, for some, challenging parts of Mongolian life: the food. The traditional diet is a direct reflection of the land. It's hearty, rustic, and built around two things: meat and dairy. The star of the show is mutton, followed by beef, goat, and sometimes horse. One of the most famous dishes you'll try is booze, steamed dumplings filled with minced mutton. A close cousin is kushur, a larger, fried pocket of meat that's a popular street food. Then there's tswivang, a hearty noodle stew made with meat and a few root vegetables. Dairy is the other half of the story, and it's unlike anything in a Western supermarket. The most famous is arag, fermented mare's milk. It's a tangy, fizzy, and mildly alcoholic drink that is a symbol of hospitality. It is definitely an acquired taste, but you have to try it at least once. You'll also find all sorts of yogurts and dried milk curds called arul, which are a common snack. So what's the reality for an expat? If you're an adventurous eater, you're in for a treat. But if you're a vegetarian, you're going to have a hard time, especially outside the city. A meal without meat is a confusing concept for many Mongolians. The seasoning can also be an adjustment. Traditional cooking is simple, often just using salt to let the flavor of the meat shine through. The drinking culture is also a big part of social life. Salty milk tea, or su te tsai, is served everywhere. Vodka is also incredibly popular, a holdover from the Soviet era. When Mongolians gather, it's common to drink, and they can be very insistent hosts. It's a sign of friendship, and while you don't have to keep up, it's polite to accept the glass, even if you just touch it to your lips. Living in Mongolia means being open to new tastes. Be brave, try the kushur from a roadside stand, and accept that bowl of arag. It's more than just a meal, it's a way to connect with the culture. For most people, a move abroad requires a job. So what does the market in Mongolia look for a foreigner? The opportunities are pretty specific, and your success will depend on your skills and qualifications. First up, and the biggest moneymaker for expats, is mining. Mongolia is rich in coal, copper, and gold. And massive international mining projects need highly skilled foreign specialists, engineers, geologists, and project managers. The salaries are high, often with great benefits, but the work is demanding. These jobs are usually in remote parts of the country and operate on a fly-in, fly-out schedule. For those who want to live in Ulaanbaatar, the most common field is education. There's a high demand for native English speakers in private language centers and international schools. The pay is generally good relative to the low cost of living, allowing for a comfortable life. A TEFL certificate helps, but those with professional teaching qualifications can land great jobs at schools that follow a British or American curriculum. Another key area is the nonprofit world. Organizations like the UN, the World Bank, and other international NGOs have a presence in UB, working on everything from environmental conservation to economic development. These roles are competitive, but offer a chance to make a real impact. So, do you need to speak Mongolian? In the international bubbles of mining and diplomacy, you can get by with English. For almost any other role, and for your sanity in daily life, learning at least some basic Mongolian is a huge advantage. It shows respect and opens up a world of possibilities. Finding a job requires being proactive. Networking is everything. The expat community is small and well-connected, so many jobs are found through word of mouth. It's best to secure a job offer before you arrive, as your employer will need to handle your work permit and visa. We've talked about adventure and culture, but a real guide has to cover the hard parts. Life in Mongolia comes with some major challenges, and being ready for them is key to being happy here. The first and most famous is the climate. The winters aren't just cold, they are brutally, unforgivingly cold. Ulaanbaatar is the world's coldest national capital for a reason. From November to March, temperatures regularly hit 30 degrees to 22 degrees and can drop to 40 degrees Celsius. This is a cold that freezes your eyelashes and makes exposed skin hurt in minutes. You absolutely must invest in serious gear. Thermal underwear, insulated parkas, and proper boots are survival equipment, not fashion. The second huge challenge in Ulaanbaatar is the winter air pollution. As people in the surrounding districts burn raw coal for heat, a thick, toxic smog blankets the city. It's a serious health risk, especially for children. To manage it, you have to have high-quality air purifiers in every room of your home and wear N95 or higher-rated masks whenever you go outside. It's a major downside to city life that you can't ignore. Third is the language barrier. Mongolian is notoriously difficult for English speakers to learn. While you can find English in the tourist and business hubs in UB outside the city, it's virtually non-existent. Not learning the language will keep you in a small expat bubble. Committing to learning even basic phrases will make a world of difference. Finally, there's healthcare. While Mongolia's system is developing, expats almost exclusively use a few private hospitals in Ulaanbaatar, like Intermed Hospital and SOS Medica. They have modern equipment and English-speaking staff, but they may not be equipped for highly complex procedures. For this reason, comprehensive international health insurance that includes medical evacuation is absolutely non-negotiable. If something serious happens, you may need to be flown to South Korea, Thailand, or China for treatment. These challenges, the climate, the pollution, the language, and healthcare, are the price of admission for the incredible experiences Mongolia offers. After all those challenges, let's circle back to why people don't just move to Mongolia, but fall deeply in love with it. The rewards here are profound. The most spectacular benefit is the access to unparalleled adventure and nature. From the rolling grasslands of the steppes to the dramatic Altai Mountains and the sun-scorched Gobi Desert, the landscapes are epic and largely untouched. For anyone who loves the outdoors, it's a paradise. On weekends, you can go hiking, horse riding, or camping under a blanket of stars so bright they feel close enough to touch. This connection to wild, open space is a powerful antidote to modern stress. The cultural immersion is just as powerful. You're not a tourist, you're part of the community. You might be invited to a herder family's gear for the Lunar New Year. Learn to ride a horse from a local expert, or share stories with people whose way of life has been the same for centuries. The warmth and generosity of the Mongolian people are legendary. It's this human connection that often turns a short-term assignment into a long-term home. And then there's the expat community itself. It's small, but incredibly supportive and tight-knit. Because everyone is facing the same unique challenges, strong bonds form fast. There's an informal support network that's invaluable, especially when you first arrive. You'll find people who are resourceful, resilient, and always willing to share advice on everything from the best winter boots to navigating bureaucracy. Finally, the personal growth you'll experience is immense. This is a country that will test your patience and your resilience. You'll learn to be more self-reliant and to find comfort far outside your comfort zone. People who leave Mongolia are not the same as when they arrived. They're more confident, more open-minded, and have a deeper appreciation for their own inner strength. So, is a move to the land of Genghis Khan right for you? As we've seen, living in Mongolia is a life of incredible contrasts. You can enjoy a low cost of living while enduring some of the world's harshest weather. You can be immersed in ancient traditions one day and be part of a rapidly modernizing city the next. It's a place that demands resilience, but rewards it with unparalleled adventure, genuine human connection, and huge personal growth. It's not the easy path, but you'll also witness landscapes that will take your breath away, experience hospitality that will warm your soul, and build friendships that last a lifetime. Mongolia isn't for everyone, and that's what makes it so special for the few who dare to answer its call. It's a choice to live a less ordinary life, a life with a truly epic story to tell. If this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, or if you have your own experiences to share, let us know in the comments below. And if you found this guide helpful, a like and subscribe would be amazing. Thanks for joining us on the journey.